문제라고 생각을 합니다. 이게 또 교육이 제대로 되고 사람들이 좀 더 다양한 사람들을 만나다 보면은 인식이 자연스레 바뀌지 않을까 그렇게 생각을 해요.
Hey everybody, this is Erico and I am back again on your screens. Hope you guys are doing well. Why? Because you're watching this video. Be sure to like, put your opinions below in the comments, as well as subscribe if you want to hear me rant aimlessly on about topics pertaining to East Asian pop culture, as well as other current events. I gotta take a deep breath for this topic. This is something that I went on about my head for days if I wanted to actually kind of touch on it. I'm going to look at this from a different point of view, especially now that there is somewhat of a spotlight on East Asia, more specifically China and South Korea. The promotion of this Little Mermaid live action remake really caused this film to fail. We talk about falling all the way down to the depths of the ocean, down where Ursula's lair was, way down there. Down, down, down. So, of course we know that there has just been relentless, ugly, dirty, nasty, trashy comments toward this girl. Say what you want toward the film, say what you want toward Disney. I speak Korean, so I did go into the Korean interwebs to see what was going on there and how people were reacting. And I had a sick feeling because I was on Naver and already film hadn't even hit their shore yet. And there was already this talk about political correctness and the word woke. I hate that word now. I don't use that word. Just the way people have made that word so icky. And as a weapon, we all know of Ariel being iconic with how she looked in her red hair. I will never ever sit up here and take that away. I think how Ariel looked was beautiful. I think that her overall image of the original, iconic. Never ever. But red-haired, pale-skinned Ariel had to be there so that this Ariel could also swim against the tides. And I will say that the overall rollout of the South Korean promotion of The Little Mermaid was absolute trash. First, let's start off with Danielle from New Jeans. I don't know why Hyper, with big hit, they made this film take a big hit. I don't know why she was involved as far as the overall visual promotion of this. Why am I walking into a movie theater and I'm seeing Danielle's music video being played on a big screen and Halle Bailey's poster is up above it but it's kind of small? That's confusing. So this is already causing a problem. Little kids are going and they're seeing Danielle. Danielle should not be the visual vocal point of this film. Why? So little kids are thinking they're gonna go see Danielle as a mermaid. And then when they get in there, overdubbed or not, they're seeing Halle Bailey in all her beautiful melanated glory. Dreads, beautiful, in her beautiful, African feature glory. And of course it's going to be a problem. We had Danielle doing the overdubbing. Now, these people knew good and well that this girl's Korean pronunciation was not good. Just because she's pretty, just because she's Korean and white, and she appeals to their beauty standards, Korean people are going to have to go and watch a movie where she clearly, I'm not saying she didn't practice, I'm not saying that she didn't try the best that she could with the role, but they're gonna notice that her Korean pronunciation is not like a native. So then we get to the whole political correctness thing that has come into play, and people taking on this idea as a main topic for this movie. And people, of course, comparing it to the original. Most people around the world compared it to the original. And there's a key word to all of this that a lot of people missed. But it was said in the media multiple times. The Little Mermaid live action remake. What is the definition of remake? I'm gonna wait. Y'all can go Google that. Maybe I'll put it up on the screen for you all. If you want old school Ariel, there are 3 movies and what, a TV show? Might be more than that. She's there. She will always be there. We need the original Ariel for this. But you know, a lot of people don't sit down and really take this in because they don't care. Only thing they care about is there's a girl who does not look like the original character, even though there's supposed to be a remake. You know, people don't care. So many Korean people jumped on this as well. It was no longer, I can always respect everybody's opinion. So you can go in the comments and you can say, I do not like this movie because it doesn't look like the Ariel from the cartoon. I respect that. I totally respect that. You can go in the comments and you can say, I do not want to watch this movie because it doesn't look like the Ariel that I know. Respect it. What I do not respect is when you go from post to post to post commenting on this young lady's looks, going on Reddit, making posts, foaming at the mouth for this film to fail. That's what I do not respect. I am not gonna let something that I do not like have room in my brain rent free. If I do not like something, let's say they did make Black Panther white, do you think I would be sitting here entertaining that BS? Don't support it. Don't buy a ticket. Ignore it. But this girl, and this goes for South Koreans too, because I see there's a downplay of the bullying that Halle Bailey got, and I'm not happy because there are a lot of people that are like, oh, there was comments and they took the worst comments. I did research before I did this video. There were pages and pages of comments going after this girl. Not just her looks, but talking about, really, it was comments that were hurtful toward Black people as a whole. And there were no South Koreans, or even really, I'm gonna go as far as say even Korean Americans that came out and said, okay, I don't support the movie, political correctness, woke, but you all are wrong for going after this girl like this. Calling her alien mermaid, saying she was a burnt fish, saying that if you go near her, your skin will turn black. And going even further than that, I'm surprised they didn't pull out the monkey and the ape comments, because you know they love doing that. A lot of them love doing that. Now, am I sitting here crying? Am I sitting here, do I care really about how they feel about my features and my skin color and if I fit their standard of beauty, or my women, Black women, fit their standard of beauty? No. What I do care about and what does hurt me is that there are Black people who are invested in Korean culture, that love K-pop, that have their favorite K-pop groups, who are going down and they either speak Korean enough to understand, or they're clicking the translate button and they're reading this, and it is hurting them. It is making them feel bad about themselves because they don't have self-esteem enough to be invested in themselves and love themselves. There are a lot of people, and I know some people don't want to hear it, that their self-esteem is based off of how other people view them and see them, especially like if you're younger in the K-pop, you're invested into how, you know, Korean people see black people. You're going and watching those videos of how Korean people think of black people and how your favorite K-pop star thinks of black people, and did your favorite K-pop star do a feature with black people, and you know you're looking at all that, or what's a Korean person date a black girl, and I have to tell you, it's not the way to go. You're gonna have to love yourself, because in this world there's a lot of different forms of media and opinion that will tell you as a black person that you are not pretty, that you are the bottom of the total pole because of how we look, and it's always so important that we have such a strong love for ourselves and how we look. I think Halle Bailey choosing to have her dreadlocks in the film definitely was iconic, because it was something that needed to be done. It exposed a lot of progress that we as a world and different societies have to work on. And it makes me sad, because we're at this point too where if you don't like the movie, they're saying that you're racist. And it's like, maybe some mentally ill person is saying that, but no, what people are upset about is that there was such a confusion and dismay toward Halle Bailey playing this role, when only thing people had to do was say they didn't like it and move along and not support it. Or either say, well, she doesn't look like the original Ariel. I have these movies and all this merchandise that I can go to if I want to see the original Mermaid. Or either give the film a chance, like many people did, and they ended up loving the film. How all of this happened, where it became such a, I want to say, agenda in a way, to kind of hit on this movie, and even having Korean people and the BS about the children running out the theater because they said she looked like a monster. I don't believe that for a second, because there's nowhere in any way in that movie that she looked like a monster. She looked like a mermaid. I do believe that's what they were saying to spread hate. And if little kids were crying and they felt that way, it's because they thought they were going to see Danielle. And Danielle is not in this film at all. Do I think that all South Korean people are racist? No. But I will say this. Do I think that a lot of them in that society are guilty by association? Yes. And it's not even just this instance, but it's other instances too, because there's a lot of times where South Koreans will see racism and will see that their fellow brethren are doing something wrong and will not call it out. It will let it be. Even though I will say multiple black people, when there were footage of Asian people being attacked by black people, many black people said that it was wrong. Many spoke out and said it was wrong. My community has no problem speaking out. I have no problem. I will talk about my community in a minute, because we have a lot of problems ourselves. And you know, I'm not holier than thou. People are going to look at this. We're talking about Halle Bailey, who is known. She's in a group, and she's tied to one of the biggest artists of our decade, Beyonce. And you think that people aren't watching this? You think people aren't watching this and associating this to K-pop? Food for thought. Meanwhile, Japan, while they had their own opinions, and while there are some comments that say she looked like a fish, there are some people that are saying, you know, she's not my Ariel, she doesn't look like the Ariel that I know. However, Japan put on their adult pants and went on out and saw that movie. #1 at their box office. Now, I will say, this is a long video, but I will say that what was the difference in how Japan digested this movie that China and South Korea and some other places couldn't? South Korea, Danielle should not have been nowhere on the screen doing nothing. Yeah, she's pretty. Okay, we get over it. Can she sing? Yeah, because she hit the notes like Holly. Hell no. She was straining to hit that last note, and a lot of people, none of the original covers, original, of the covers of Halle Bailey's version of Part of Your World got to the brilliance that Halle Bailey did. Halle Bailey is a phenomenal singer. And there aren't a lot of singers that have her vocal technique, that are classically trained like her, that know their way around music and how to sing and how to just have the correct skills to sing. None of the girls that did the overdub could hit that last note and do it correctly and do it with skill. They sounded strained. Danielle sounded strained, and I don't know what. She don't need to attempt that no more. And I'm gonna be honest with you, she doesn't. Pretty voice. I like New Jeans, but I'm gonna keep it real. You know, I'm gonna be honest. That was all Halle Bailey. All of it was. Japan got the video of Halle Bailey singing at Disney World that was originally broadcast during American Idol in America. They got it with Japanese subtitles. So they were able to see Halle Bailey in all her basking glory with her talent. She looked gorgeous, beautiful background, beautiful blue dress. So when they saw this, they knew why she got the part. Most Japanese people, after they saw that video, they were like, okay, we get it. we get it. Like, she's beautiful, she has charisma, she's cute, and overall, she can sing. So, you know, a lot of Japanese people say, well, she don't look like the Ariel that we grew up with, but we're going to go see the movie. They went to see the movie, they enjoyed it. There are many Japanese people that are praising Halle Bailey, that is praising the movie, who want her to go to Japan and perform. This is the same video that China and South Korea should have gotten. I don't know whose idea it was to allow this movie to come out in South Korea and China first before America got it. They should have waited. I would fire everybody on the promotional team. This movie should have came out in South Korea later. Danielle should not have been on anybody's screen singing nothing. It should have been Halle Bailey in that American Idol Disney World performance. That's what they should have saw. The movie would have done better because everybody could have seen. They would have been like, okay, we see it. We see what the director saw. China should have got that too. That should have been all over South Korea screens. It should have been all over China screens, just with Korean subtitles, Chinese subtitles. I think that had they gone about it in a way where it was more digestible instead of just going, boom, ha, here I am. Look, it's Halle Bailey as Ariel. You know, I don't think that people were ready for it. I really don't. And you're talking about homogenous societies too. They should have been slowly introduced to it. It's not like America or other places that are diverse. If they had gone about it this way, many more people would have understood. But no, they just threw the movie out. They threw it out with a messed up promotional plan. They messed up everything. They really did. They allowed Danielle and New Jeans to use the movie as promotion, and it was bad publicity, but it was still publicity. They allowed them to use Danielle as a weapon to further attack Halle Bailey. We just got a mess. Now, the movie is what it was. I liked the movie. I thought Halle Bailey was good in it. If you don't like the movie, you don't have to like it. If you think black people are ugly, fine. You're not hurting me, and I'm not losing no type of sleep at night. You don't want to support the movie, don't. If you want to sit up, if Korean YouTubers want to sit up and make all those videos and, you know, cry and howl at the moon about how the CGI was bad and all that. CGI was not all that. I don't know why people are comparing it to Avatar. What is wrong with you people? Avatar is a whole different breed of beast. I would never compare a Disney film to Avatar. The last thing I want to talk about too is people with the argument. They scream this argument all the time. This is a kids movie. This is for kids. People do because they want to win the argument. This movie is not for kids. This movie is for people that have nostalgia. So it's for the adults who were kids. What's for kids? The original Little Mermaid. That's what for kids. This mermaid movie has a lot of mature topics that it's gonna go over a little kid's head. The parents who grew up with the original that want nostalgia are gonna take their kids to see this, and the kid is gonna feed off of the energy of the parent, and they're gonna watch it. So the whole thing with representation, which is very important, I do think that especially as Black people living in a world where we mostly saw white faces, it's good to see that, you know, we can be on the screen. And if you are not Black, or you're somebody that, once again, is maybe mentally ill, and you think that, oh, it doesn't matter, you know, I shouldn't have to see somebody that look like me to feel represented, you're mentally ill, or your head is in the clouds, or either you're a white person and you're used to seeing people that look like you, so much so that it's not something that's even on your radar. Please do not try to break into my experience and tell me how I'm supposed to feel. Don't do that. Just respect me enough not to do that. Disney continues to make these films because they're building off of nostalgia. They're making money off of nostalgia. It's for people that want that nostalgia kick, and the kids get to come along. But there's a lot of themes in this movie that it's gonna go over a little kid's head. They're not gonna understand about, you know, trade and the different sea life. I mean, they would understand like the names of the sea life, most likely. But you know, other than that, there's a lot of like talk in this movie. This movie expanded on a love story that felt kind of hollow, you know, in the original. It really gave a lot of depth. They also tried to make the film as diverse as they possibly could, and Disney is on this kick, and it is mostly because I believe they're trying to right their wrongs. I believe that there are a lot of people who have liberal thinking that look back on the history of America, and they see how there was certain people that were getting the short end of the stick, and now they're trying to make it so that it is equal. I don't want people to feel like that, like the original Ariel is being erased, or that white people are being erased. No, that's not the point, because Halle Bailey's Ariel and the original Ariel can both coexist and live in the same space. As you can see by a lot of the fan art as well, I'm definitely not going to forget about the original Ariel. Even with this new version of Ariel in the cartoon, I do think that it's kind of sad that there are people out there that are trying to spread that there's no more white Ariel, when there's so much merchandise, there's so much forms of media, there's so much out there that they're not going to take that away. I would go out and buy a Little Mermaid mug of the OG Ariel in a heartbeat, because I love that Ariel as well. I also love Halle Bailey's Ariel and what they're doing with her as well. Why can't both exist at the same time? So you guys, this is a lot to think about. Please follow my social media, mostly my Instagram. Also have a blog in East Asian pop culture. The link is always down in the description box below. And remember, be real, stay real, live in the real. And I will always be back. Thank you guys for watching this video. Stay strong, you guys. I love the various opinions, but be respectful. Please.